Hey, and welcome to the Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm Elena Lipson. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle membership and the Virtual Retreat Academy. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your body, your health, or your family in order to create true abundance and prosperity. I believe in living based on the divine feminine metrics of success, and these include pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. Each week, I'll bring you 1 to 2 new episodes. One of these will be a guided meditation that you don't have to do on the meditation pillow, and the other will be a conversation to help you access your inner wisdom, to ignite abundance, and inspire others to do the same. I invite you to join me on this journey back to the magic of a divinely aligned and well cared for you. And now, join me for today's episode. Hello and welcome to today's podcast episode. This is the Meditations and Musings podcast. I am your host, Elena Lipson, and we are exploring all things self-care. Self-care is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Through my own healing journey and coming back to myself and reconnection to my body, I have been able to create a business, a lifestyle, clients, programs, courses, retreats that all focus on reconnecting you back to your body, the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-beautiful, all juicy body. So why is this so important? In today's meditation episode, we are going to explore a new way of breathing. In the last several episodes, I shared some really powerful breathing techniques that have to do with your belly, your lungs, and your nose. And today's breath, it's called the Yoni breath, is going to be a little bit different. Now, this is a breath that I have learned through my own yoga education. I started yoga when I was about 16 or 17 years old back in New York City. And yoga then versus yoga now was a whole different journey for me. Somewhere along the way, I learned techniques in terms of yoga poses, breathing, meditation that really opened parts of me that I never knew really existed. Although you know on a surface level that you are connected to different parts of your body. But this particular breath that we're going to dive into today is going to make you feel the feels. It's going to invite you to explore your connection with your body in a very different way. Now, before we dive fully in, I want to just give a little bit of background so you have a context to place this in. So in my work with women leaders, I find this consistent truth that you spend a lot of your time in your mind, in your head, strategizing, planning, figuring things out, resolving, and just a lot of time up there in general, trying to create your gorgeous life that you have. The things that aren't working, you're trying to figure out how to resolve those relationships, those new programs and products and courses and ways of living, those new rituals you want to start trying, those new books you want to read, those dreams that you want to fulfill. And a lot of that time planning and strategizing is spent in your mind. So just about from the neck up. So you spend a lot of time in your head. And that's all great. We need that. We need the intellect. We need that part of ourselves. We even need our ego because the ego is, I know gets a lot of bad rap in the spiritual world, but it really is there to just keep you on point, to really keep you elevating and evolving and expanding and knowing that the ego is just that baseline comfort level that we all, by now, we all want to just move through and past. And that's why you're here. You're looking for different ways to expand. So as a leader, as someone who is evolving in your spiritual, physical, emotional, and business life, you have probably started to get the hint that you are so much more than just your bank account. You are so much more than just the accomplishments. And if you listen to my recent episode that you are born worthy, we explore that at depth, that you are not your output. You are not the results you create. You are so much more than that. And in fact, your output and your results get actually quite much better when you realize that you're more than that and that you stop functioning from a place of having to prove yourself and instead come from a place of flow, of inspiration, of creativity. But that takes time. It takes self-care. It takes time, not just up in your head, but down in your body. So that's where I want to take you today. Now, if you've heard anything about the chakra energy centers, you know that we have the upper chakras and the lower chakras. And the upper chakras are kind of where you get your ideas, your intuition. You have your throat chakra, you have your third eye chakra, you have your crown chakra, and you have this sort of connection with above. And a lot of spiritual leaders spend a lot of time there because it's where you think, you do, you expect, you connect with angel guidance and spirit guidance, and you get light from above and all those wonderful things. And you speak your truth, and those are great things to do. They're required of us as human, emotional, spiritual beings. But then there's the lower chakras. There's the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. And those are the ones that can get a little bit sticky in terms of sexuality and connection to the present moment and connection to others and relationships. And that's where we can get a little bit stuck and sticky. And we'll do a lot more exploration of those in future episodes. We'll dive into specific chakras and how to clear those out. And then there's the heart chakra in the middle, which is no coincidence that it's right in the middle. It's that energetic center that connects them all. So it's really wise to spend some time getting to know your heart, getting to know what it is that you desire and crave in this body, in this life, and to even just put your hand on your heart and give gratitude. Gratitude is what expands that heart energy like nothing else will. But today we're going to focus on your root chakra. It's kind of between your root chakra and your sacral chakra, down about 1.5 inches below your belly button. And this chakra is connected to your yoni. And if you have not heard the word yoni, it is the Sanskrit term for your vagina, your clitoris, that whole area known as your yoni. And I've heard a lot of mothers teaching this term to their young daughters now instead of vagina or along with vagina. And I'm not sure. I think it's just a personal preference. I like the word yoni. I think it's empowering to say it's whatever works for you to identify your sexual, reproductive pleasure organs. It's a way for you to connect to them. The most important thing is that you are connecting with them, because it is one of the energy centers in your body that is connected to creation, that is connected to pleasure, connected to receiving, it's connected to even giving. And if you're disconnected from that energy center, from your yoni, because you're spending so much time up in your head trying to get intuition and wisdom, you're missing a big chunk of potential inspiration, opening, allowing, turning on. It's that like creative engine that you're missing because you're not spending enough time on it, because you think perhaps it's something you get to when you have time. Well, I want to flip that on its head, literally, and to understand that you have this incredible creative engine in your yoni. And the more you take time to connect with it, the more you take time to ask her, let's call her what she wants, to ask her how she wants to be touched, to really just even give yourself time to think about it. I mean, does that seem like frivolous activity? I would say it's absolutely unfrivolous, non-frivolous, opposite of frivolous. It is required. Now, we're not going to dive into any negative connections or old traumas that you might have with it, because there's a time and a place to really spend time unraveling those feelings. And I think it's as a wonderful time as any in our current collective consciousness to give yourself the permission to explore any negative associations that you have with your yoni, with past negative experiences. We've all had them, as you have seen if you have been anywhere other than under a rock. You've seen the Me Too movement. And I just spent so long thinking about how so many women have these negative experiences with their sexuality, with their allowing themselves to be fully expressed because maybe somewhere, someone along the way has either physically invaded your space or with words or emotionally have given you a bad relationship with your sexuality. And that is something to be explored and honored and addressed in a way that feels right to you, whether it's finding someone to support you, whether it's gathering a circle of sisters to share your experiences, because in community and in circle, we really, truly begin to see that we are not alone. And if the Me Too movement has done anything positive, which it has done so much positive, is that it made everyone hyper aware that you are so not alone, that your feelings, experiences, and emotions that you thought were so personal to you are actually quite a shared experience with so many women of all ages. So if you are looking for support, if you are looking for a place to be seen, to be heard, I encourage you to reach out to sisters, to people that you feel safe with, to just say, hey, let's gather. Let's, pour a cup of tea or a glass of wine and let's just talk. Because in silence, we actually can hurt even more. But in circle, we can expand, we can heal, we can cry, we can laugh, and we can say, well, that was pretty shitty, but hey, I am not alone and I have somewhere to go and I can talk to. And there's something very, very healing about being someone who listens to other women as well. You don't need a degree to do this. You can just gather in your living room, gather 2 women, 3 women, 5 women on a regular basis, just once, try it once and see how powerful it is to just gather and just say, hey, what you got going on? And just talk and see how powerful that is. That's a huge element of being in your feminine. It's a huge element of unburdening. It's a huge element of growing and expanding and actually releasing the shame that you might be carrying around your own sexuality. So back to this discussion of the Yoni, of receiving. This month in my Divine Self-Care Circle membership, we are exploring self-care and sexuality and the ability to give and receive and allow in all areas. And this topic always ignites the ladies in my group. And we've had already some wonderful postings of just saying how disconnected some women didn't even realize that they were with their bodies, that even my suggestion of taking some lotion and just massaging your thighs and just that whole area around your yoni starts to make you feel again, make you feel in a way that you maybe haven't felt before. And then inviting, if you do have a partner, to invite your partner to really allow yourself to go slow, to be soft, to be seen, to massage parts of you that you might be disconnected from and allow them to be awakened again, to be enlivened, to be seen. Even if it means you feel so uncomfortable for a little bit and you can speak that in a safe way. I mean, I know for myself, I've been with my husband now for over 18 and a half years, and our sexual relationship has definitely evolved. I thought I was open and playful before, which I was to a certain extent, but being with him for so long and trusting him to the depths that I do, we have definitely explored ways of being together that have challenged me, that have wanted me, made me want to just turn out the light and roll over because it's scary. It's scary to trust someone so deeply, to ask for what you need in a way that might feel embarrassing. But of course, it's only a story in your mind. These are only the thoughts that you have that maybe you learned somewhere along the way that are just not true. Simply put, it's just not true. You have the right to ask for what you need. You deserve to feel pleasure in a way that feels good to you. You deserve to be able to say, no, I don't want to do that. Or, you know what? I'm nervous, but I want to try that. Or, hey, why don't we try something new today? Or, hey, can you slow down? Slow down. Slow down. Because so much of sexuality is now like other parts of our life, hurried, busy, just that thing to get done, to check off your list. And it's such a shame because the potential for expansion, the potential for joy and pleasure is so immense and starts in your ability to receive and feel pleasure. And pleasure is one of those feminine metrics of success. So if you haven't been feeling pleasure lately, I want you to really look at the big picture. Are you limiting your ability to expand your capacity to receive, both in business, in life, and the bedroom, by not letting yourself fully dive into and explore and expand your pleasure practices, even if it's just with yourself? You are not a robot. You are not just a business making machine. You're not a money making machine. You are not a to-do list. You're not a taxi driver driving your kids all around. You are a woman, and you have the capacity to feel pleasure that's going to blow your mind, literally. It's going to expand your heart. It's going to help you put down those gates to shatter those brick walls of connection that's holding you back from truly connecting with your deepest, most powerful, empowered queen, priestess self. Having a connection with your pleasure, with your desires, is activating in ways that you might not expect. It actually enhances your creativity in your business. It actually allows opportunity to find you. Because when you, a woman, are turned on, not just in the bedroom, but in your life, when you're turned on, you are vibrating at a frequency that's going to attract unexpected opportunities to fall into your lap. It's going to attract new creative ways of connecting with people. You're going to just be lit up in a way that you haven't maybe expected or experienced yet. And if you already have pleasure practices, I invite you to go deeper, to go slower, to just explore with curiosity if there are new ways to connect with yourself. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you're in the perfect place. So thank you so much for bearing with me as I explained my perspective on pleasure. And I want to share with you one of my 66 sacred rituals. And I didn't mention them at the beginning of this episode today because I know you hear it every week, but I want you to experience one of my rituals. And this ritual is called the Yoni breath. So right now, I want you to find a comfy place. Even if you're walking, even if you're doing the dishes, if you're doing something else, you can totally still do this. Hey, I do this when I'm standing at the checkout line sometimes. I do this when I'm driving. I do this when I just want to open myself up. So besides all those beautiful pleasure practices that we just kind of went around and talked about, this is one that you can use to open yourself up when you're feeling constricted or just wanting to feel more playful. So this is, again, one of my 66 sacred rituals. It's called the Yoni breath. So right now I want to invite you to just take a moment. If you are in a place where you can close your eyes, go ahead and do that. If you want to pause this episode and come back to it when you can, that's fine. If you want to just listen to it and then come back to it and do it another time as well, it's all good. Just take some time and find your breath. You might have been a little more constricted or tense as you were listening to me talk about all that pleasure. Sometimes your body starts to get uncomfortable when you are at the edge of your own comfort in terms of conversation. So just as you breathe in through your nose and out, just feel into where in your body you might have tensed up unconsciously or subconsciously. Just notice if any muscles in your face just need to be relaxed. Notice if your shoulders are a little higher than they need to be, and just invite them to relax down and hang softly and warmly around your backbones. Just allow your belly to soften. There's no need to control your breath, just notice it. As you find your breath, see if you need to relax any muscles in your thighs, your legs. And sometimes we walk around holding our sphincter muscle without even knowing it. So if you need to relax any muscles in your yoni, your sphincter, just take a breath. Now I just want you to get conscious and present with your breath. Start feeling the coolness of your breath as it goes into your nose and back out. And just release that. Now I'm going to invite you to breathe in through your yoni. So as you breathe in, imagine the air going into your yoni and up through your uterus, your pelvis, maybe even all the way up to your solar plexus and out. Let's do that one more time and feel your breath going through into your yoni. Maybe even up to your heart this time. And out. Let's do it one more time. Into your heart. And out. The next time you're going to imagine the breath going all the way up to your throat chakra. In through your yoni, up, up, up. And out. Next one, we're going to go all the way up to your third eye chakra, activating it as it goes through your sacral chakra, through your solar plexus, up through your heart, up through your throat chakra, up to your third eye, activating it, and out. The next one, we're going to go all the way up to our crown chakra and just imagine it exploding open like a lotus. So up through your yoni, up, up, through your sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and up through your crown chakra, exploding up, and all the way back down through your yoni. I'll do that on your own for 1 or 2 breaths, all the way in through your yoni, up through all of your energy centers, and up, exploding up through your crown chakra, and then pulling light back down through your energy centers and down. I'm going to be quiet for just a few moments so you can do it in your own time. Now, that should have been enough time for you to do it another 2 or 3 times. And now I want you to become fully aware of the sensations in your body as you go back to your normal breath. I know when I first started doing this, I would feel an actual sort of turned on sensation in my yoni. I would feel kind of this tingling, light activation. And here's the interesting part. So much of that feeling in your body, you might connect with a sexual interaction with somebody else. You might even connect it with masturbation or some sexual pleasure time with yourself. Here's the cool part. Here's the thing that might just blow your mind. It doesn't have to be connected to sexuality. I'll say that again. Feeling turned on in your yoni doesn't necessarily have to be connected to a sexual act. What you're doing is you're actually giving yourself permission. You're training your body to feel turned on because you're giving it attention, because you're giving it focus, because you're bringing life force into a part of your body that sometimes just sadly goes unnoticed for a long time. And so whatever feelings of silliness or discomfort, or perhaps even shame might come up. Just be with whatever is happening. But I want you to understand that feeling turned on in your yoni, in your sacral chakra, is all about this creativity, this birthing, this newness, this ability to create something from nothing. And it gives you a new relationship with your body that you might understand, like, hey, if I'm stuck creatively, maybe one of the tools that I have is this yoni breath, is dancing, is turning on my body, because my body, your body, is the source of creation, of creativity, of ideas, of stuck energy moving and flowing. You won't be able to get unstuck fully all the time by thinking about it. I promise you. You've been given a body and sensations and the ability to feel pleasure at such a high level because it's the source of all creation. Pleasure and sexuality is the source of children being born. But we're not always making children, are we? That would not be so good. So when you are feeling what you're feeling right now, just open up to the possibility that your body is ready to create. So don't let this opportunity, this turned on-ness, go to waste. I invite you to start to maybe go for a walk or grab a journal and a pen and just journal about your experience and just notice the rest of today. If you are feeling more turned on, if you are feeling more creative, more present, more playful. And from that kind of presence, magic happens, synchronicity happens, magnetism happens, resonance happens. So take this opportunity to write that chapter, to make that call, to press record and do that Facebook Live, to do something creative because you have just turned your creative engine on. So that is one of my favorite rituals from the 66 sacred rituals. And there's like 65 more. So if you can imagine how powerful this one is, the other ones are off the hook. So if you want to experience more of those 66 sacred rituals, you can always go check them out at elenalipson.com/66 days. And because you are so sparkly, super special, you can get a coupon code and all you have to do is enter the word podcast. That's it. If you want to try some more rituals and get $10 off, and you will have lifetime access to all of my juicy, wonderful, magical rituals. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I am so honored and grateful to have you in my life, in my world. You keep me coming back to my microphone every single week. Thank you so much for all of the incredible reviews coming in. I'll read some more of them next week. I got a bunch more this week, which just makes my heart swell with joy and love and gratitude for you. So if you haven't left a review yet, please go ahead and leave a review. It just means that iTunes will show it more and more and more, and more eyeballs and more yonis will get to hear it. So please do leave a review, share the podcast, and I will see you for our next episode of Meditations and Musings on all things self-care. This is Elena, your host, and go create something because you, my love, are turned on. Go use that magic. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening and learning about the new divine self-care way of being in your life, business, and the bedroom based on the divine feminine metrics of success: pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. If you're ready to bust the myth of overwhelm and tap into an inspired start to each day, I've put together a free video series for you to help you start each day with energy, inspiration, and ignite that inner pilot light which attracts joy, magic, and synchronicity. You can access my 3-step magic morning practice to help you ignite your inner light and attract the abundance that you're craving. Head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would so love if you share it with a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, and please leave a review. That is how the magic starts to ripple out. Here's wishing you a day full of beauty, magic, and divine self-care. I'll see you next time at the Meditations and Musings podcast.